Hi, I'm Phil Gordon. If you're a new player, there's a lot to learn before you can play like the pros. With this lesson, I'm going to give you 6 tips for the serious beginner that will get you well on your way to maximizing your potential. Here's what we're going to cover in this lesson: playing low stakes, practicing sound bankroll management, playing in a variety of games, including the low variance limit games, playing in games that let you build experience, playing one table at a time, and the most important lesson: know when to stop playing. My first tip for a serious beginner is to play very low stakes. Full Tilt offers much lower stakes than you could ever find in a land-based casino. The lowest stakes I've ever seen in a casino are $1, $2. But at Full Tilt you can play very much lower than that: 10 cent, 25 cent, 5 cent, 10 cent. These are games that will let you get a tremendous amount of experience without risking almost any of your bankroll. If you're going to play low stakes poker, though, I suggest you take it seriously. I play low stakes just the same as I play high stakes. If I'm playing 5 cent, 10 cent, I'm going to expend the same amount of energy as I would if I play 5, 10, or 50 and 100. I like to try to read my opponent's hands. I like to try to pick up those betting patterns. These are all invaluable skills that will help you as you move up through the ranks and you increase the stakes and your bankroll increases. Take it seriously. Don't just throw your chips around and play every hand because it's 5 cent, 10 cent. As you can see at Full Tilt Poker, we offer games as low as 1 cent, 2 cent. This is a game with a maximum buy-in of $2. Now that doesn't sound like a lot of money, and it's not a lot of money. But this is the type of game where you can really build your skill set over many, many hands without risking much of your bankroll at all. If you're going to play this level, play it seriously. Watch each hand, try to read your opponents, try to pick up their tendencies and their betting patterns. If you're able to do that at this level, you might be ready to move up to the 2 cent, 5 cent game or the 5 cent, 10 cent game. One of my most important tips for serious beginners is to practice good bankroll management skills. Now, the Full Tilt Academy has Chris Ferguson's video on bankroll management, and this is an excellent place for you to get an education about that. Check out that video right away. However, now I'm going to give you my thoughts on the topic. I think that in order to play limit poker, any form of limit poker, you need about 500 times the big blind. That's the maximum you should be willing to play. So if you have $500 in your bankroll, 500 big bets or 500 big blinds would be about 50 cents in a dollar. That's the maximum you should be willing to play. If you're playing no limit poker, I think you need about 25 times the maximum buy-in. Now, one of the most important factors here is that you have to be willing to drop down in stakes if you go and start losing. If you lose half your bankroll at the 50 cent in a dollar level, now you've got to drop down and you've got to play 25 cent and 50 cent. If you don't do this, you're going to risk going broke. The best players in the world who don't practice good bankroll management skills go broke eventually. It's just the common vagaries of mathematics. You can be the greatest player in the world, but if you're playing above your bankroll, you will go broke. Practice good bankroll management skills, and you're going to give yourself a chance for your skills to actually manifest and force you and get you up to that next level. My third tip for serious beginners is to try to play some form of low variance games. Now, what is variance? Well, variance is very simple. It means that the swings that you'll experience in your bankroll over the course of play can either be very high in high variance games or very low in low variance games. Now, the highest variance games we offer at Full Tilt Poker are the pot limit Omaha games. You can see some tremendously large swings in pot limit Omaha. It's a suck-out game. Everything happens to you in pot limit Omaha. You know that the swings are going to be very large. You're going to either win a lot or lose a lot, or you can lose 6 or 7 buy-ins in a row without any problem. Believe me, I've done it 100 times. In low variance games like Limit Hold'em and Limit Omaha High-Low, you're very, very unlikely to experience the types of swings, the variance, that happen in the higher variance games. You're going to see your bankroll creep very slowly, not experience these wild, huge fluctuations. By playing low variance games, you give yourself a chance to build some skills without risking your entire bankroll. I'd like to see you play some limit Omaha high-low and some limit hold'em to gain some valuable skills before you tackle the higher variance games like no limit hold'em, pot limit hold'em, and God help you, pot limit Omaha. One of the things that I think you should know is that tournament poker has extremely high variance. It's not uncommon for even the best players in the world to play 20 or 25 tournaments in a row without cashing. Look at Chris Ferguson. When he started playing the World Poker Tour, he went about 40 tournaments, 40 World Poker Tour tournaments without even cashing a single time. And he's one of the greatest players in the world. So if that can happen to Chris Ferguson, it can happen to just about anyone. What I want you to realize is that if you play too high for your bankroll for tournaments, you will go broke. I want you to try to play very small tournaments, maybe a 20th of your bankroll at max, in order to build that skill set and to give yourself a chance to proceed nicely with your bankroll. If you play much higher than that, I promise you it's not going to be pretty. Let's take a look at a typical hand in no limit hold'em and in limit hold'em and compare the differences between the two games and see how these games play out in variance and what they do to our bankroll. So here we have pocket aces. We're in the cutoff seat. Everyone folds around. We're going to raise 3 times a big blind. And the big blind calls. Flop is 9-5-2, and he checks. We bet $5. We get checked raised here, and now I don't think we have any choice really but to move in. Yet we move in, and we get called, and our opponent, unfortunately, is going to show us 2 5s. Now, in no limit hold'em, we had no choice really but to go broke with this hand. We lost our entire bankroll, $52, our entire buy-in in one hand. Let's see how this same exact hand plays out in limit hold'em. Okay, now we're starting with $55. It's limit hold'em. Everyone's folding around to us again. We raise it to $2. The big blind calls, and 9-5-2, the same flop. Our maximum bet here is $1. We bet $1. We get check raised. I 3-bet. It gets capped. If he's willing to cap the flop, it's likely that we're beat, but I just can't see folding these aces here. So he bet $2 on the turn, and we call, and now it's $2 on the river, and we call again. And we lost a grand total of $10 in this pot. In no limit hold'em, we lost $55. In limit hold'em, we only lost $10. The variance for your losing hands and your winning hands is much smaller in limit hold'em than it is in no limit hold'em.